So here's the thing that I got when I went into court the other day and was watching and observing and seeing these different guys do their cases. The men who were not prepared are the ones who always got screwed. And this is what happens when they met with the attorney general or they went in front of the judge or whatever the situation was. They didn't have the right paperwork. They were confused by it. They wanted to discuss things like visitation when instead they were discussing things like child support and whatnot. And they mixed up what this was about. When this happens, you completely disempower yourself. And it's hard. It's difficult. Whenever I get a court order or any of these things, I hate reading it. It's really difficult. So here's exactly what I do. I go and I talk to a lawyer about what this means and what this says. I talk about each little thing. And at this point, I've done it so many times, it's a little bit easier to get through. But I go through it. And I go through it with a lawyer that is in that county and hopefully one that I build a relationship with and, pay them and all these different things. But you can also get free consults. The next thing that I do is I organize my evidence. So what is my situation? If this is for visitation, if this is for custody, if this is for child support, I start to look through what is going to be a factor in that. So this is a long thing, and even if this was a 20-minute or 1 hour long YouTube video, it would be hard to break it all down for you. But what I want to look for is for child support. I want to look at the money I make and the money that I paid taxes on. If I don't have that, I need to understand how the attorney general is going to look at that. So I want to have my income for 3 months. I want to have everything possibly there so I can prove I'm not hiding anything. And it's going to be based off of that mathematically with some sort of equation, right? So it might be 20% of that. It might be less. It might be more if you have more kids, all these different factors that you can look up. If it has to do with visitation, or it has to do with who's going to get custody, the simple things I want to start looking for is how much time do I spend with the kids in things that the courts are going to recognize. These would be things like taking them to school, picking them up from school. Do I go to the meetings at school? Do I talk to the teachers? Do I go to the doctors, fill the prescriptions, whatever the situation is? And these are also things that you could ask an attorney in your county. These things, like talking to attorneys, you could probably get some free consultations with. It would not be a bad idea to spend $200 or $300 or whatever dollars it is for a paid consultation. And this would prepare yourself a lot more. Now, that being said, if you learn all that stuff and you show up in front of a judge, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do a good job, but this is the starting place of what you need to get. And if you go in unprepared, the court is going to say, why the hell didn't you study these things? Why didn't you know it? But then when you get screwed over, you come online and you look at all the different people on YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is that got screwed over and are basically saying, I'm a male victim and it sucks. And yes, if you screw up and go in unprepared, you will get a lot harsher of a consequence usually than most women, but sometimes it flip-flops. But that's how that happens. If you start to go in prepared, organize yourself, learn to speak to the courts properly, you're going to do a lot better and you're going to find out that things are a lot more fair.